Now on 4 News Now at 6, a damaged natural gas pipeline leaves thousands of people without heat or hot water and shuts down schools and offices on the Palouse. We have team coverage on when service will be restored.
Families will want to bundle up because temperatures are dropping to the mid-30s tonight. Plus, I'm tracking another round of rain in your first alert forecast.
And we are live in Spirit Lake, where the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office will release new information about the 67-year-old woman found dead in her apartment after an encounter with police. We'll have the breaking details. And we begin with that breaking news. We'll be taking you to the Spirit Lake City Hall, where the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office is holding a press conference on the death of S.A. Floyd in an incident that happened 8 days ago.
That's right. We told you about this last week. It was breaking news on Nightside. Floyd was a 67-year-old woman who was found dead inside of her apartment building following what was considered to be a mental health call by the Sheriff's Office and by Spirit Lake Police. Then they reported that led to an officer-involved shooting. So we are, again, waiting for this press conference with the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office. We're going to listen in now. We have someone at the podium waiting for this press conference to begin. Let's take a listen.
We were in a different room. Did somebody come up and tell you some housekeeping stuff? Okay. We might be a little early, so. We're still outside real quick. Okay.
Again, we are waiting for someone to take the podium there and begin this press conference. This happened last Wednesday night in Spirit Lake, where S.A. Floyd ended up being killed in what was called an officer-involved shooting. We've got no information since then. Now let's go to the podium again.
I'm just going to go over some housekeeping rules before we get started. First off, with everyone would please silent your cell phones. Do that now so we don't have any interruptions. We have a very full house. So just keep the side conversations down to a minimum. There's restrooms in the back if you need to use those, and emergency exits where you came in. Attending tonight, this evening's press conference, we have Sheriff Robert Norris, Kootenai County Prosecuting Attorney Stan Mortensen, and Spirit Lake City Mayor Jeremy Copper. Yep. We'll provide printouts of the timeline of events that will be available after the sheriff speaks. Sheriff Norris and Prosecutor Mortensen will take a few brief questions at the end. Sheriff?
Good evening. Sheriff Robert Norris, I am your sheriff here in Kootenai County. The purpose of this press conference is to provide as much information to you as possible and to clarify a lot of information that is circulating in the public, phone calls that we received, and other platforms that have raised these questions. When we leave here tonight, I would like for you to have some takeaways. And a couple of these takeaways are that there were no Kootenai County deputy sheriffs at the scene of this incident at the time of the incident. I'd like for you to note that at the conclusion of this meeting, I'd like for you to have a better understanding of the processes that are going to occur because of a critical incident here in Kootenai County. I'd like for you to have an understanding of what a North Idaho Critical Incident Task Force is, and what role that each of us are going to play in this particular incident. So on November the 1st, 2023, at 18:14 hours, a reporting party called and asked for a call for service at the residence of S.A. Floyd. At 18:27 hours, 2 Spirit Lake police officers arrived on scene. At 18:34 hours, an officer-involved shooting occurred. At 18:34 hours, an officer-involved shooting occurred. At 18:47, a Kootenai County deputy sheriff arrived on scene, which would have been about 20 minutes after the incident. S.A. Floyd is a 67-year-old female. Miss Floyd lived alone inside her residence. The location is a multi apartment complex retirement facility. The complex is for retired independent living. There are care providers available to check in with different residents depending on their need of care. What the North Idaho Critical Incident Task Force is a multi-agency task force that is activated whenever a critical incident occurs, such as an officer-involved shooting. There are many detectives that have different areas of expertise, and most agencies here in Kootenai County are part of the North Idaho Critical Incident Task Force. The Sheriff's Office, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office, your Kootenai County Sheriff's Office, was not involved in the original incident. We are the agency who's investigating this particular incident. And investigating from a investigation of the officer-involved shooting. And a piece of that is ours. And then what we're going to do with that investigation, we are going to handle that investigation over to the prosecutor. And Stan Mortenson's going to talk about that. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about the investigation. The investigation is objective in nature. It is a memorialization of facts, of measurements, of witness statements, of involved party statements, of audio and video. So it's really just a memorialization of the event. There's no subjective analysis in the original criminal investigation. And I think it's very important for us to have an understanding of what that means. The reason why an involved agency does not investigate their own is because we want to give a degree of credibility to the public to ensure that it's an independent memorialization of that event. At this time, I'm going to turn over the mic to your prosecutor, Stan Mortenson, and he's going to describe what happens when he gets the investigation. And then we're going to have Mayor Copperwaith, and he's going to describe what happens when a administrative review or use of force in this particular incident, what is going to occur from that standpoint. Stan?
You've been listening to the Kootenai County Sheriff Robert Norris give a brief explainer on how the Idaho Critical Task Force Unit works when we have an officer-involved shooting. We're going to continue to get more information from this press conference, but we have more news to get to tonight. Some breaking news that's happening right now. The company that owns the damaged natural gas pipeline that's closed schools, offices, and left tens of thousands of people without heat tonight says it has been repaired.
Yeah, it's still going to be a cold night in Pullman and Latah County, though, with crews still having to go door to door before service can be restored. This all happened when that excavator damaged the Williams pipeline just north of Pullman yesterday. That pipeline is responsible for delivering natural gas from Colfax all the way down to Lewiston, possibly impacting service to tens of thousands of families in that area.
And we have team coverage tonight. We begin with Marissa Rio at the site, who shares what crews are doing to restore gas services.
According to Avista, over 36,000 customers are affected by this gas outage. Behind me is actually where the excavator hit the pipeline. I was told that Avista crews were working all day, going to each individual gas meter, making sure all were manually turned off. While Avista worked on gas meters in affected areas, Williams Pipeline worked on repairing the damage that was done. If Avista hasn't reached your property yet and you feel comfortable turning off your gas valve, a local heating company in Pullman shares how Avista wants you to safely do so.
You do that by taking a giant crescent wrench. There'll be two different shutoffs. The one that's lowest to the ground is the one that Avista would like shut off. And then once you're done, put a black X or mark along the top of the meter so that It just helps signify it's been done.
This issue impacts so many people that the Pullman mayor issued an emergency declaration.
Safety-wise, we're responding to anything that needs to be out there. For what we heard from Avista, when people need to fire up again, it's going to be Avista crews are going to be doing it. They have a number of crews that are coming in from Spokane, Coeur d'Alene.
The emergency declaration gives Pullman the ability to close down city facilities and get additional resources like heaters. Pullman Heating and Electric has other ways you can also stay warm.
Keeping your blinds closed at night especially, and then in the daytime, open up the blinds if you've got a side where it's sunnier, so that sun can help heat up the house, and then keeping to smaller rooms and using things such as baseboard heaters, any electric heat. If you've got a wood stove, and you can use a fan to help move that air around.
It's advised not to use appliances like camping stoves or outside grills. Reporting in Whitman County, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
We've been talking a lot about the cold and the cold nights this week, and families who don't have heat tonight are going to have to stay warm.
Yeah, let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker now to see how cold it's going to get, Chris.
Well, temperatures tonight down on the Palouse and into the LC Valley will be down around freezing in many locations. Lewiston, the exception, at 40 degrees. Our average low for Pullman for tonight is 34, so you're in the ballpark. Record low is 12, so that puts a little in perspective. Lewiston, 36 is the average overnight low, 14 the record low for tonight. Let's take a look now at our forecast radar. We have a little bit of light precipitation coming to the region late tonight. Here it is, midnight into the Spokane area, some light rain, some light snow possible in some of the northern valleys, but by the time our temperatures would be dropping down to where we might see a little snow mixing in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, that precipitation is going to be off to the east. Here 6 a.m. and we will continue that drying trend through the morning. Our chance of precipitation Thursday night through Friday morning, it goes up to 10%, 20% at 10 o'clock. Peaks at 2 a.m. at 60% and is back down to 0 by 6 a.m. and will stay at 0 through the day on Friday. Here are 4 things to know about your forecast. Rain coming in late tonight, possibly mixed with snow, mainly in some of the northern valleys. Then the next system comes in and brings an additional threat in terms of power. A wind advisory for Saturday with up to 45-mile-per-hour gusts. I'll talk more about this coming up in just a few minutes, Derek.
Chris, thanks. And as we head into another chilly night for the people who are impacted by this outage, it's putting into perspective how much we rely on natural gas.
Natalie Grant was in Pullman today. She shares how residents are preparing to take on the cold.
Now, I'm here in one Pullman neighborhood where Avista crews just like the one you see here are going door to door, turning off more than 6,300 natural gas meters that need to be off before the relighting process can begin after things are all fixed up at the pipeline. On Thursday, people of the Palouse making the most of a chilly situation.
We have many gas appliances, as it turns out. Gas water heater, gas stovetop, gas heat.
Carolyn Gordon, who lives in Pullman, says you don't realize how much you rely on natural gas until it's gone.
The heat's been the most difficult, but we've got space heaters, that we can put around on different circuits, and that work pretty well.
Space heaters, wood stoves, and electric blankets are how many are staying warm tonight, trying to keep the heat inside.
Always rely on it, and you're thinking all of a sudden the heat's not there. Then you realize that you're actually kind of spoiled.
Carolee Webb, who was warming up at a local coffee shop Thursday, says while it's an inconvenience, she's grateful it's still early into our colder months.
What if it was sub-zero? Then you would have had pipes bursting and all those nasty things.
Until things are back up and running, Webb says she's relying on her neighbors for things like hot showers and trying to keep a positive attitude.
It does help just to imagine you're camping, I guess.
Reporting in Pullman, Natalie Grant, 4 News Now.
Well, right now, the University of Idaho campus is also without heat or hot water, including the dorms.
As of this morning, the temperatures within our residential halls were still within reasonable levels, so we're not too worried there. We will continue to keep an eye on that and help our students to make sure that they have a space that is warm enough for them.
The university is providing blankets to students living on campus and asking them to layer up.
Yeah, Washington State University also affected. The university already switched over to diesel fuel, though, to heat the school.
We got one of the biggest college basketball games in the region. I'm Alex Crescenti in Pullman. Coming up after the break, we'll have a preview of the Washington State Cougars ahead of their banner ceremony here at Beasley Coliseum.
Well, the Washington State Cougars started off their season with a win on Monday evening over Cal Poly, but now the challenge gets a lot tougher as they welcome in regional rival Gonzaga in a meeting of two NCAA tournament teams. And tonight will bring with it a lot of emotions as the Cougs are set to celebrate their first Pac-12 championship in program history.
Before the game, the team will receive their championship rings and raise the banner. Our Alex Crescenti is live tonight in Pullman ahead of the game. And Alex, head coach Cami Etheridge says they'll celebrate tonight, but after that, it's time to move on.
Yeah, that's right. For the last 6 months or so, this Cougs team has been running quite the high. They came out of nowhere to win the Pac-12 tournament down in Vegas and made the NCAA tournament for a program record third consecutive time. So there's a lot of reason to celebrate if you're a WSU fan. And this team brings a lot of talent back for the 2023-2024 season. Of course, you know the all Pac-12 players. Charlize Ledger-Walker, one of the best players in program history, along with Bella Mercatete. She's on the all Pac-12 team. Then they went to the transfer portal and picked off one of the best Big Sky players in Beyonce B right across the border in Idaho. So there is a lot of reason to be optimistic that they can repeat as Pac-12 champions, but that's what they're focused on, the future here. And that's what head coach Cami Etheridge wants her team to be, focused on the future once that ball is tipped off.
So obviously it falls on a great night against a great competition. We want to celebrate that team and that moment, that Pac-12 championship. You know, they're going to be getting their rings, which they've never gotten before, and then it's over. And we shouldn't talk about that anymore. And it's all about what we do that night. It's just we're whatever we're doing all summer and all fall is about what you know, we want to be good on the night that we're playing. That's all we've earned.
Now, unlike the men's teams, the women's programs play almost every other year, with the Cougs winning last back in 2021. So it should be a pretty good game here, a battle of unbeatens in the young season. So make sure to follow along all night long. Myself and Julian Minstone will have you covered from Beasley Coliseum. But for now, reporting live in Pullman, I'm Alex Crescenti for News Now Sports.
Thanks, Alex. We have got some warm weather tomorrow. We're right up around average, 45. 45 is our average high. We'll have a fair amount of clouds, but staying dry after that early morning rain. I'll be back to tell you about the next system on the way and the winds it's bringing along with it after the break.
Download the KXLY Plus app for breaking news.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Washington Cares Fund.
I think in many ways that I do have kind of two lives. The one before I was hit. ABC's Bob Woodruff. And the one after. I always wanted to somehow finish this assignment. I wish you luck. Love you.
This Friday night on ABC.
Honey, that was my brother. Can we bring him dinner tomorrow? He's been having a hard time since his accident.
Of course. I know it's been tough. There's so many costs that his insurance doesn't even cover.
I know. The ramp to his front door, transportation, meal preparation. What if something happens to one of us?
We should plan to sit down soon. We can look through the long-term care benefits that we're earning with WA Cares.
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
Why join UFCW 3000? I'm the lead person when we negotiate with employers for better wages, benefits, and working conditions.
I'm an essential worker.
During the pandemic, we couldn't work remotely.
We are workers in grocery stores,
healthcare, retail,
and packing plants.
Thanks, UFCW 3000.
Our website can both answer your questions and connect you with our team who can help you explore your union opportunities.
The holidays inspire us all to connect. With family, with friends, no matter what the road throws at you. So find the connection you're looking for this winter in a new SUV with standard all-wheel drive during the Mazda Season of Inspiration sales event.
With effortless power and the reliability of iActive all-wheel drive, Mazda CUVs are built for the Pacific Northwest. Take a test drive today at Foothills Mazda or shop now at SpokaneMazda.com.
We're less than an hour away from tip-off for tonight's big rivalry basketball game between Washington State and Gonzaga.
Historic night for the Cougars. WSU raising the Pac-12 championship banner for the first time in program history. Julian Minenzone continues our team coverage from Pullman. And Julian, it's going to be an emotional ceremony for the Cougars, which could possibly work in the Zags' favor.
That's right, Derek and Kirsten. You see it all the time in pro sports. The team holds a ring ceremony. It's emotional, but then it ends up being a distraction and the team has a letdown. That's what Gonzaga is hoping happens tonight. The Bulldogs are hoping to come in here and spoil the party in Pullman. And this matchup is huge for a couple reasons. The territorial matchup between the fan bases, there are bragging rights for the fans, and both teams have a bunch of great players. Gonzaga and Washington State had most of their core players return from last season. Both are hoping to make deep runs in March, and this could be an early preview of what we could see at the NCAA tournament. Here are some of the key players to watch out for tonight. Washington State has the 1-2 punch of Charlize Ledger-Walker and Bella Murekatete. Gonzaga, well, they have the Trong sisters, Kaylin and Kaylee Trong. Those are players to keep an eye on when this thing tips off. The ceremony is going to be at 6:45. The first 450 fans actually get a mini championship banner to commemorate WSU's accomplishments from last season, and then that'll be followed up by the tip-off at 7 o'clock. We're going to have coverage tonight on Nightside, team coverage all the way around for Washington State and Gonzaga. But for now, reporting in Pullman, Julian Minenzone, 4 News Now Sports.
All right, still ahead. See why voters in Spokane voted against the public safety measure that supporters like the sheriff say was meant to keep the community safe. Coming up on 4 News Now.
An envelope with traces of fentanyl caused an election office shutdown on Wednesday. Hear why this is concerning the local GOP about transparency and the county auditor's response.
Download the KXLY Plus app for live updates all
Dupixent helps you do more with less asthma and can help you breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Is your home in need of a remodel? Then transform your living space with help from Costless Carpet.
Have you heard about Costless Carpet's new Rhino SPC? It's changing the flooring industry. Durable, waterproof, with amazing looks that are blowing our customers away. Rhino SPC has 20 and 30 mil wear layers, making it more durable and easy to install. Costless Carpet stocks over 25 different visuals and has wide planked woods and 12 by 24 tile designs too. To find your nearest store, visit costlesscarpet.com.
My dry eyes made me a burning, stinging 5 times a day.
Makeup smearing, drops user.
I want another option. That's not another drop.
Tyrvaya. It's not another drop. It's the first and only nasal spray for dry eye. Tyrvaya treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease fast by helping your body produce its own real tears. Common side effects include sneezing, cough, and throat and nose irritation.
Relying only on drops? Not me. My own real tears are my relief.
Ask your eye doctor about Tyrvaya.
At Cal Cars, we're proud to live in the United States of America.
We are blessed with so many opportunities provided by our servicemen and women that this Veterans Weekend, we'd like to pause and give thanks to our armed forces and give everyone a free American flag when they come for a test drive at any one of our locations. And in celebration of this 85th Veterans Day, we will be donating $185 for each vehicle sold to Heroes Homestead this week at Cal.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Sweet Palace and Sapphire Jewelry in Phillipsburg, Montana.
Want to be the first to alert you that we have a wind advisory for Saturday. Right now, looking at wind gusts in the 35 to 45 mile per hour range in the Spokane area, the Washington, Palouse, Columbia Basin, and up through the Okanagan area. With all the moisture we've had, that certainly puts some trees at risk, but also could run into problems with power outages. The last thing our Palouse friends want to hear right now. We're going to be tracking these winds very closely, and we'll update you as we get updated information. So we have one front coming through tonight, just bringing some very light precipitation, and then another one on the way for Saturday, and that's going to bring more rain to the region. Not quite the heavy rains that we saw earlier in the month, but more than what we're going to see overnight. Let's start our forecast radar off at noon tomorrow. Friday is going to be dry, breezy at times, wind gusts to 20 miles per hour. We bring in our next round of rain, similar timing to the onset of tonight's rain. Around 11 o'clock midnight, we'll start to see that precipitation. We dry out quickly by 5 a.m. Saturday. But in contrast to the system tonight, we're not done with the wet weather on Saturday. We'll continue to have showers throughout the day. Here's 10 a.m., particularly in North Idaho in the higher terrain. Wouldn't rule out an isolated rumble of thunder. Meanwhile, by 6 o'clock Saturday, then we start to dry out a little more meaningfully, and we'll start to see those winds decreasing as well on Saturday evening. Our chance of precipitation over the next several days. Friday, it's going to be early in the morning, then the rest of the day will be dry. Saturday, the wettest day, but with a progressive weather pattern, we'll have at least a slight chance of showers almost every day through the 7-day forecast. Rain possibly mixed with snow, but no accumulation in Spokane. The closer this system gets, the more likely I think it's going to stay as rain. Tomorrow, again, possible rain or snow, but early in the morning before 6 a.m. And then we bring in that wet and windy weather for Saturday, Veterans Day. Sunday, mostly dry. You'll notice our temperatures go from right about average to above average all the way through, well, all the way through the 7-day forecast, a little above average. We have additional chances for wet weather next week. Overnight lows through the forecast period will be above freezing. Derek, Kirsten.
All right, Chris, thank you. We have much more coming up tonight at 6:30.
Including how important the sunlight is for a certain vitamin that you may be missing. Plus, Spokane County voters rejected a public safety measure that would have helped pay for a new jail. Find out why after the break.
Download the KXLY Plus app for weather every 10 minutes.
5 stars. All rise for To Kill a Mockingbird. Unmissable and unforgettable. A mockingbird for our moment. Beautiful, elegiac, satisfying, even exhilarating. A New York Times Critics Pick. Mockingbird is now the most successful American play in Broadway history. All rise for Aaron Sorkin's great play. Richard Thomas is Atticus Finch in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird.
December 5th through 10th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Andy's Heating, Cooling, Electrical. Guarantees to keep your home safe and warm. Your comfort is Andy's priority. Get ready for the cold with a high-efficiency furnace from Carrier and turn to the experts. Andy's offers a wide range of top-quality heating systems that are both reliable and environmentally friendly. Andy's team of experts are highly trained and experienced, so you can trust Andy's to diagnose and fix any issue efficiently. Andy's Heating, Cooling, Electrical. Your trusted Carrier experts since 1972.
Did you know Idaho high school seniors graduating next spring are eligible for up to $8,000 in grant money for career training and education through Idaho Launch? Funds can be used to cover the cost of apprenticeships, job training, community college, and university programs that lead to in-demand careers. Funds are limited. Apply today. Students choose their own path, and Idaho Launch helps pay for it. Idaho Launch, support in every direction.
It's time to remodel your bathroom, but you don't want the hassle or the worry of getting it finished. You just want to pick a style and relax, knowing that it'll be wonderful when it's done. Is that too much to ask? No, actually, it's not. Rebath, from start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,000 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Lost wedding ring found. Next, Inside Edition. It was hidden in the light fixture for safekeeping. Then it was forgotten.
This is where I found it.
How the precious ring was returned to the family after all these years.
Thank you so much.
Then, behind the scenes at country's biggest night, the CMAs. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, the most recent count now shows Spokane County has voted against Measure 1 by 29,000 votes.
Measure 1 is the 0.2% sales tax that would have gone toward public safety measures like expanding the downtown jail. Today, we asked voters what made them vote against the measure. 4 News Now's Allison Martinez joins us in studio with those responses. Allison.
Measure 1 asked Spokane County residents to pay $1.7 billion over the next 30 years. This is one of the biggest tax proposals in Spokane history, and the public has been voting it down. We asked voters, and lack of planning and transparency were big reasons why they opted against it. According to Spokane County, the 0.2% sales tax would go toward expanding the downtown Spokane jail while closing Geiger Correction Center. But for the majority of Spokane County voters, these plans were not transparent enough for the billion-dollar ask.
I mean, I felt like they wanted a large sum of money, but didn't have a plan for exactly how to spend it. And I wasn't comfortable just giving a large amount of money for a subject that I have concerns about.
That's David Lance. He wrote into our station saying, "I'm not voting for more money for jails unless we also fund mental health and alternative diversion programs." Today I heard from Eric Lowe, who says he feels the same way.
What this came across as is more of a ploy to get backdoor funding for police without saying that that's what it's for. And I think voters saw through that, which I'm very glad for.
Many voters we heard from say they do acknowledge the need for a new jail. One voter said, "No real problem with building a new jail. I do have a problem with government in this state trying to pass blank check taxes. Come up with a plan." And that's exactly what Commissioner Chris Jordan says comes next. On Election Day, Jordan detailed what the county will prioritize now.
There's all sorts of ideas. We could expand our mental health first responders who divert people from jail, but we just need to budget that and plan for it and listen to the voters, take the time to really bring in community voices for a more transparent process.
Measure 1 may not pass this go-around, but county officials say in the future it will be workshopped into a measure that is more appealing to all voters in Spokane County. Reporting in studio, Allison Martinez, 4 News Now.
Allison, thank you. And like we said, the latest round of election results are out. Lisa Brown is still on track to become the next mayor of Spokane with 52% of the vote. But that number could still change. Brown released a statement saying, in part, quote, "We feel very confident in the final outcome, and I look forward to getting to work on behalf of the people of Spokane."
Betsy Wilkerson still in the lead for Spokane City Council president with about 53% of the vote over Kim Please's 47%. Now, take a look at this. Pierce County Elections Office released a picture of the letter it received yesterday, laced with a white powder, and declared election terrorism. It reads in part, "End elections now. Stop giving power to the right that they don't have. We are in charge now, and there is no more need for them." Tonight, Spokane police not commenting on the letter Spokane Elections received. And we've learned that the Snohomish County Elections Office received a similar letter today. So in all, 5 Washington state counties have had to deal with the attack on democracy. And we do know that the Spokane A Spokane letter contained traces of fentanyl and shut down the ballot counting process.
Spokane's GOP says it's concerned about ballot accuracy following this incident. Our Bronte Sorotsky shares why.
During Wednesday's election office shutdown, Spokane GOP observers say the county continued to process ballot signatures, so we asked the county auditor about this.
By that time, I had already sent most of the staff home because we were not sure how long it was going to take and if we were even going to be able to come back in.
This was around 10:15 a.m. Wednesday morning. During this time, employees as well as election observers from Spokane's GOP were sent home. But around noon, the elections office got the all clear. Only a few employees stuck around.
So we had just a handful of people still here. And so in the afternoon, we did do signature verification to at least try to rescue some of the day.
This signature verification is what puts Spokane County's GOP on high alert. On Thursday, the political party took to Facebook to express election concern, writing that auditor Vicki Dalton originally said the office was closed following Wednesday's envelope scare. The GOP's election observer then saw signature processing until 4 p.m. 4 News Now made multiple attempts to contact Spokane's GOP, but did not hear back. After dealing with Wednesday's safety threat, Dalton says these employees deserve praise, not criticism.
We actually did manage to get some work done in the afternoon after experiencing a very frightful incident in which employees could have been harmed.
As of Thursday, the elections office is back to normal. Ballots will continue to be processed in the election officially certified on November 28th. Reporting in Spokane, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
4 things to know about your weather. We have some light rain moving in very late tonight, possibly mixed with snow in spots, particularly in North Idaho. There is a wind advisory for Saturday with up to 45-mile-per-hour gusts. I'm going to be talking more about that in just a few minutes. But first, let's take a look at our chance of precipitation. It goes from 0% at 9 up to 60 between 1 and 3, and then back to 0 by 7. This is a fast-moving system with not a lot of moisture to work with. Temperatures for morning lows will be in the above freezing range in many locations, but once we get over into Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, Bonners Ferry, temperatures down in the 20s, and there may be that brief time where your rain switches over to a rain-snow mix or even snow, but we should not see any accumulation until you get up into the higher terrain. And even at that, again, there's not a lot of moisture to work with this system. High temperature tomorrow of 45 degrees, which is exactly average. We'll start the day off with cloudy skies, that precipitation wrapped up and be in and out of the clouds. I'll be back to tell you about the winds on the way for the weekend in just a few minutes. Derek?
Well, Spokane City Hall was forced to evacuate this afternoon after a fire alarm was set off. This was the scene in downtown Spokane at around 1:30 today. A city spokesman says the fire alarm was triggered by a maintenance issue, some spray paint and sawdust. Everyone inside City Hall left the building and evacuated to the other side of Spokane Falls Boulevard. They returned after firefighters gave the all clear.
Around the Northwest tonight, a new report released today by the U.S. Government Accountability Office shows Washington is not doing enough to help Puget Sound salmon survive.
The report shows poor water quality is a major reason why there aren't as many salmon in the Puget Sound region as there once was. According to the report, the Environmental Protection Agency and the Washington Department of Ecology have failed to develop lists of bodies of water that don't meet quality standards. It also found warm water and toxic chemicals in Puget Sound are killing the fish. The Accountability Office recommends the EPA and Department of Ecology work to develop a plan to meet required deadlines for Washington's impaired waters list. The report was requested by local Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers. All right, still ahead, a new survey says a shorter work week may not be for everyone.
Coming up, why some say going to work 4 times a week might not be as great as you think.
It's an essential vitamin for our health, but the climate in the inland Northwest may be putting you in a vitamin D deficiency. I'll explain why after your first alert forecast right after this.
Download the KXLY Plus app for breaking news.
4 News Now is brought to you by Findlay Downtown Toyota.
4 News Now is brought to you by Move Fitness.
The I Love the 90s tour is back, featuring Vanilla Ice, Rob Bass, Tone Loc, Color Me Bad, and Young MC. Saturday, November 18th. Spokane live at Spokane Tribe Casino. Tickets on sale now at SpokaneTribeCasino.com.
With holidays right around the corner, Ironstone Furniture and Fire is offering discounts on all in-stock dining sets, along with simplicity, indulgence, and endless possibilities. So, when you're looking for dining at its best, visit Ironstone Furniture and Fire in Coeur d'Alene.
At Cal Cars, we're proud to live in the United States of America. We are blessed with so many opportunities provided by our servicemen and women that this Veterans Weekend, we'd like to pause and give thanks to our armed forces and give everyone a free American flag when they come for a test drive at any one of our locations. And in celebration of this 85th Veterans Day, we'll be donating $185 for each vehicle sold to Heroes Homestead this week at Cal.
I know what I want to do. I just don't want to do it.
There is no expiration date on romance.
We made history together.
Food insecurity is really fairly common with college students. We love to offer a donation each year to the WSU Student Pantry.
The WSU Campus Pantry is for WSU and Eastern students, so we provide free groceries to students. I know that BECU has supported us with monetary donations this year and the last 2 years, and it's one of the reasons why donations from the community, like we got from BECU, really matter, because it is just people helping people.
The I Love the 90s tour is back, featuring Vanilla Ice, Rob Bass, Tone Loc, Color Me Bad, and Young MC. Saturday, November 18th. Spokane live at Spokane Tribe Casino. Tickets on sale now at SpokaneTribeCasino.com.
All right, new here at 6:30. We all know the Inland Northwest is full of amazing places to go skiing and snowboarding. According to Home to Go, the Inland Northwest is home to the best overall ski destination in the country. The company says Schweitzer Mountain is a must for anyone looking for an amazing and affordable ski trip. Home to Go looked at multiple factors, including snow conditions, ski terrain, and the amount of time you spend waiting to get on the chairlift.
Now, I'm not a snowboarder, really, or a skier. I'm just going to be honest with all of you. But I do know somebody who is.
Yeah, right.
She's right here.
Well, and Derek, I've snowboarded with you.
Yeah,
You're
at Schweitzer.
and Mount Spokane. Yeah,
So you can give me lessons, the two of you.
We absolutely will, and I know there's a lot of people in the Inland Northwest who would agree with that and are wondering, we do have some snow coming in the mountains, but probably not right down where the folks live. Let's take a look right now, though, at the wind advisory for Saturday. Not something we want to see. Wind gusts 35 to 45 miles per hour in the Washington Palouse, the Spokane area, Columbia Basin, and up through the Okanagan Valley. The winds will die down Saturday evening. Here's a look at our wind gusts, the forecast. Starting off 6 a.m., it's going to be breezy. Wind gusts to 20 in Ritzville, 13 mile per hour wind gusts in Spokane, Grand Coulee, 27 mile per hour gusts, and down through the Okanagan Valley, 32 mile per hour gusts in Omak. As we go through the afternoon, we'll see those winds picking up, though, in many locations. 41 in Spokane at times, 43 in Grand Coulee. They'll be peaking right around 3 p.m. and then slowly dying down, but it's going to be a breezy Saturday evening. That was Saturday at midnight. Precipitation, I'm going to start off at our current time. We're watching two systems. One kind of puny, one a little more meaningful, and that is going to come through starting tonight. Here's the puny one, just the very lightest of precipitation. It is weak. May see some very light snow in the mountains. Could get up to 2 inches of snow with this system. Valleys, no accumulation of snow, but potential of some snow mixing in through North Idaho. But by 6 a.m., most of that weather will have moved into the Panhandle and then out very quickly. Will be dry the rest of the day until similar timing, right about 11 p.m. midnight Friday. Light rain developing around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. We dry off quickly. Here's Saturday at 5 a.m. with some snow in the central Panhandle Mountains, but the snow really coming down in the Cascades. The northern Cascades could see some heavy snow there. If you're looking at Washington Pass, Stevens Pass, expect the snow. Saturday, 10 a.m., more rain showers in the valleys with more high mountain snow, and then we dry out Saturday evening. The chance of precipitation will continue through the 7-day forecast. Not very impressive, between 20 and 30% other than Saturday, but it is going to be rain. Here's a look at our temperature trend over the next 7 days. The black line is our average high, and it's down here. We are going to be up in the 50s for a good portion of the next 7 days before we cool down a little bit, but still staying above average. This is very typical El Nino weather. Windy on Saturday, calmer Sunday, but there'll still be a little bit of a breeze in the morning with just a 20% chance of showers. Then there's a little bit better chance as we get into the middle of next week. Overnight lows staying above freezing down in the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area through the 7-day forecast. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. And later this month, we're going to see less than 9 hours of daylight in the inland Northwest. And that could really impact your health in ways you may not even realize.
Yeah, that includes an important vitamin that needs sunlight. New at 6:30, Matt Gray is here to break down the problem with vitamin D.
At least for me, vitamin D was on every milk carton I drank in school as a kid. But since then, I haven't really thought about it that much. Vitamin D is actually pretty important because it helps our body absorb calcium. Calcium, in turn, strengthens our bones. And some medical studies also link vitamin D levels with other health benefits like your heart, your brain, your immune system, and much more. So vitamin D is mostly made by our own bodies, but there is a bit of a catch here. It needs to start with the rays of the sun interacting with a chemical in your skin. That is where we run into a bit of a problem in the inland Northwest. You see, as fall turns to winter, our part of the globe turns away from the sun, and not only do we see less sunshine in the wintertime, the sun's rays are a lot less powerful in the summertime here as well. And that means that there's not enough sunlight for our skin to produce vitamin D in the colder months. Now, according to Harvard University, there's not enough winter sun to produce hardly any vitamin D through our skin north of 37 degrees latitude. That's a line roughly from San Francisco, California, all the way to Virginia Beach, Virginia. And so up here, where we're at 46 to 49 degrees latitude, depending on where you're watching from, with cloudy winter skies and cold weather that keeps us bundled up indoors a lot, we run the risk for low levels of vitamin D. So what can you do about this? Now, there are some diet changes you can make to help get more vitamin D in your system, but I'm a meteorologist, not a doctor. But I do have some resources that are written by doctors for you. You can check them out right now on KXLY.com.
So important for everybody who lives here. Let's take a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Download the KXLY Plus app for live updates all day.
For over 20 years, Snow's Auto has been selling all the best brands at the guaranteed best prices in Spokane. And to celebrate this year's 20th anniversary sale, you can get 20% off all amps, speakers, and subwoofers, 20% off truck and Jeep lifts, 20% off remote starts, and 20% off window tints, plus up to 60% off last year model clearance items. So if you want nice upgrades at big anniversary savings, hurry down to Snow's Auto today.
We love our house, but lately we've been feeling a little cramped.
So we talked to ICCU about a new home loan. The process was super quick, and we got a really great rate.
We start house hunting tomorrow.
Preferably something with a bigger garage.
November is the perfect time to make tempting treats like a sweet, savory apple pie before winter sets in. Or you could bag that idea all together and fatten up your wallet during the $50,000 Slice of Luck giveaway at Northern Quest instead. Okay, let's face it, you're never gonna make the pie.
Fatten up your wallet for winter with a $50,000 Slice of Luck giveaway. Play daily for entries, only at Northern Quest.
Are you tossing and turning at night because you're too hot or uncomfortable? Then you need to experience the life-changing comfort and support from Serta, Beautyrest, and Purple inside Walkers.
Walkers offers all the newest sleep technologies, and during our Veterans Day sale, get big mattress discounts on Serta High Comfort Eco and Beautyrest Black Hybrid sets. Plus, save between $100 and $300 on Purple mattresses.
Making it the perfect time to improve your sleep for less at Walkers.
One thing that I think is cool about Move Fitness is that everyone that walks through our doors comes for a different reason.
For some people, it's the best part of their day. It's kind of hard to explain. You almost have to experience it.
From the moment you walk in,
From the energetic music, the smiles, and the high fives.
it's just a great, positive place to work out.
And you get it all for about $1 a day.
Join the movement. Everyone's got to move, right?
Sign up for the 4 News Now Brainstorm at KXLY.com.
Many companies across the country have experimented with a 4-day work week.
But experts say a 4-day work week may not be the best option for everyone. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez has more.
Once considered a fantasy, more and more companies are experimenting with the 4-day work week, testing what's always been the norm.
There were obviously benefits for sort of individuals in the sense of having more time for family, rest and recovery.
But the benefits don't stop with the employees.
Having those boundaries really encourages companies to think about their processes, make them work more effectively, and make them more resilient and sustainable organizations.
When people were asked how different options would impact their well-being at work, 77% of U.S. workers said a 4-day, 40-hour work week would have a positive impact, according to a new Gallup survey. But experts say those 10-hour days could lead to burnout.
It's a question of, do you like a 3-day weekend more than you hate 10-hour work days?
The COVID-19 pandemic forced employers to embrace work from home and hybrid options. But now economic uncertainty is leading large companies to order their employees to return to the office. So would a 4-day work week ever be embraced by the corporate world?
We've seen a divergence between the largest companies really doubling down against flexibility over the past few months, but flexibility is still thriving among smaller and mid-sized businesses that are using that benefit, and flexibility is a benefit, as a way to attract workers who wouldn't necessarily consider them otherwise.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Well, the American Indian Community Center has unveiled its plans for a new 25,000 square foot center that is 57 years in the making. It is soon to be a permanent home for all of their services, including social and behavioral health services, and a gathering place for the community.
The idea of having a place of our own where we can do all the things that we want to do and have room to grow and expand is just the biggest dream we've ever had, and it's going to become reality.
Their new Future Forever home will be near Highbridge Park on Riverside Avenue. 4 News Now, we'll be right back.
Download the KXLY Plus app for weather every 10 minutes.
What is a jewelry design center? Locally owned and the largest jewelry store in the region, offering you more choices, more options. A showroom filled with world-famous brands and designers. A center who also creates exclusive designs and one-of-a-kind pieces. Whose specialized selection process ensures the brightest diamonds and most vivid gems. We are not your average jewelry store. We are Jewelry Design Center, and we want to be your jeweler for life.
Santa returns to Spokane's River Park Square Shopping Center, Saturday, November 18th, presented by STCU. Festivities begin at 1 o'clock, and Santa arrives to light the tree at 5, with special guest appearances and entertainment. Plus bonus fun, the Lego store opens at River Park Square November 10th. Learn more, reserve a time for Santa photos, and plan your holly jolly holiday season at riverparksquare.com.
It's time to say yes to your healthcare story. The Washington Health Plan Finder helps you find new health plan options like Cascade Care. These plans cover primary care visits, mental health services, and generic drugs all before meeting a deductible. Start your next chapter off right by enrolling in your 2023 health plan at wahealthplanfinder.org. Don't wait until it's too late. Enroll now.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on the next task. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. 4 News Now Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
At Dishman Dodge Ram Chrysler Jeep, we're making it a November to remember by offering great buys on our best-selling Ram trucks and Jeep lineup, with special markdowns on all pre-owned SUVs and 4-wheel drives. But the best offer is with every vehicle sold, you'll get a free big screen TV with the purchase, making it the perfect time to visit our family-owned dealership at Dishman.
Dishman Dodge. E.T., I'll see y'all at the CMA Awards.
We're with country music's finest in Nashville. Plus, NCIS heads down under and Hawaii Week rolls on. Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30. Expect even more from KXLY Plus. Live updates from the 4 News Now team. Breaking news as it happens. Weather every 10 minutes. Free on your time. Download the app, connect to your streaming TV, and connect on KXLY Plus.
Another cold night. Down into the 30s with a little bit of rain.
All right, we'll see you tonight for Nightside at 11.